I think the reality is that July data were actually okay. I mean, when we looked at our data, we saw a solid performance by manufacturing. We saw a strong performance by services. I think overall the economy is probably doing a little bit better than people think. But there's a problem. It's that this is August, middle of August, and this is July data, and something very important has happened in the last 2 weeks, and that's the spread of the Delta variant. So the question now is less how robust the data are or not, and more, has there been a material deterioration of the economy, of the exchange of commerce, based on the fact that the Delta has caused shutdowns and is causing some havoc in terms of economic activity. So I think that the July data is going to become old very fast, and the August data are going to really tell the story.
So we should really be over it before it's even begun. It's a really key point you make there, that the story has changed dramatically. And in that sense, do you expect to see a change in messaging, a change in policy in the coming months?
Well, it's really hard to tell at this point. I mean, we're another 10 days away or so from having August data. The officials have acknowledged that there are significant shutdowns in different areas of China related to the virus. Usually you see spikes and they're not advertised, and they're not reflected in economic activity. I can tell you that in our data, the start of the spread of Delta, or the acceleration of the spread of Delta, was not reflected. It did not materially affect the July data. It will affect the August data to some extent, but we just don't know how much. So this is the real question mark, and it happens while a lot of people are at the beaches or are off from their jobs in August. But you could have a real surprise by the end of the month, depending on how this plays out.
Rosanna and I were earlier having a conversation about the differences in pandemic handling between the US and China, Leland, and how that is translating into economic performance. And already in the second quarter, the US vastly outperformed China on year, and some analysts think that could still go on for the next 3 to 5 quarters, the first time since the 1990s. What do you feel are the longer term implications, therefore, of China's zero tolerance strategy towards COVID?
Well, during the first wave or a couple waves of COVID, clearly the zero COVID response that China did was more effective than what we were seeing elsewhere, particularly the United States. It just sort of sat back and let it sweep over the entire country. Delta is more contagious. It's completely unclear whether China will be able to maintain a zero COVID strategy and keep its economy up and running, when this could be not just months, but this could be years before we're rid of this. The other thing is, of course, the United States has several very powerful, very effective vaccines, and it's not altogether clear how effective the Chinese vaccines are, especially against the Delta variant. So you've got some variables here. The longer this goes on, the more problems there'll be with China's economy, certainly.